Today's topic is: what's your weirdest, this shouldn't be hot but it is, moment? One of my coworkers was a short woman who was pretty assertive, bordering on bossy. One time she couldn't reach something on a high shelf and I was giving her crap for her height, which she was giving back crap as much as she got. She was standing on her tiptoes, reaching up and asked if I could get the thing for her. She then turned her head, looked at me, and said, "Please," in a timid pleading way that was completely out of character for her. It caught me off guard and flustered me a bit. My very Irish bossman says, "Attaboy," anytime I do something good. No problem. A girl I was into did it, and a switch flipped. I cannot hear it from either of them now without feeling weird. I was not long into a new job and ordered a coffee from the local place. This was during the real back from COVID, so we were still wearing masks. In the busy cafe while I took the coffee from the barista, she nervously tried to let me know with hand actions and exaggerated eye expressions that the lid was a little loose and might spill hot bean juice on me. Immediately something happened and my heart fluttered. Wasn't immediately hot, but Christ, I was infatuated for a moment there. Had to avoid the place for a while as I calmed the intense emotions. I recently read that kissing for 6 seconds with your partner or hugging for 20 seconds reduces stress after a busy or stressful day. I told my husband about this. Now at least once a day he says he needs his 6 seconds. Or when we kiss goodbye or welcome home, we always do this. He says, "Not 6 seconds yet, I want another one." Just him saying this, oh boy. I saw quite an overweight guy in the gym pulling weights who looked like he was really struggling. He looked up and smiled at me, and I don't know why I started to find him endearing and attractive. He was smiling like he was accepting he was overweight but still smiling away. Most guys in the gym are really standoffish and intimidating, but this guy was the opposite. I thought it was cute. When he's reversing the car with one arm on the passenger seat headrest and fully focused, like, "Sir, that's a 3-point turn, not a seduction." One time I was drawing in my sketchbook on my bed and my ex-partner came up behind me and started groping on me, and he got down and dirty and whatever. Anyways, he would go still anytime I stopped moving my pencil, and he made me focus on drawing or else he'd stop. I don't know why it's so engraved in my head, but it only happened once and I think about it at least twice a day. On the third date with my current BF, we had fries together, but he finished his way earlier than I did. So I told him to say something interesting to avoid the awkward silence. He's a German engineer who works on robots. So he started talking about robots, the robot arms that are put in the big factory, not the interesting ones that look like humans or dogs that can jump ups and downs. I was confused at first why someone would talk about this on a date. But then I noticed the sparkles in his blue eyes and the way he got so excited about his work. And then I found he actually has very cute little pink lips. And I started to wonder when I would be able to kiss those cute pink lips. Until now, I've never regretted dating this robot nerd. I had a girl who I had just met and she spent the night. The next morning we were making pancakes and my childhood best friend just showed up at my door. I could tell he needed to talk. We went to the back patio and he let me know that his dad had just died suddenly. This girl who I just met quietly got up and made him a plate, brought it out and disappeared. For 2 hours she just came back every now and then to check on him. We never went out again, but I always think about how amazing her kindness was in that moment. Hands. Just hands. Not even hands doing anything. Just hands. Also, when I feel physically smaller around a guy, that happened to me in a crowded bus when I was really close to my friend once, and I had to focus on calming down. Maybe I was ovulating. I was staying at my girlfriend's house and apparently, they usually don't eat breakfast. Just brunch, then lunch when they get hungry later. She knew that I'm used to having breakfast early in the morning, so she bought food for me to eat. I don't know, man. But she gave me food that morning, damn. I remember thinking, she's caring and hospitable, so hot. Once a coworker of mine was leaving for another job opportunity. He came to say his goodbyes to everyone. He pulled me to a hug. And oh my, his hug was so firm and good, then he kissed my neck in such a gentle way, and was smelling so good. Afterwards I got me pulling my shirt collar just to smell his perfume on me. Important to notice, in Brazil many signals of affection like hugging or kisses on the cheeks are very common, but the way he did it was out of this world. Quarter zip, sleeves rolled up, one hand on the steering wheel. My partner rarely does this, but when he does I feel like a Victorian man seeing an ankle for the first time. When they're wearing a normal watch, as opposed to a smart watch. Watching my man put his watch on sends me somewhere else. Mine was definitely watching a video of a very intense, very skilled chef perfectly julienning a mountain of carrots. The precision, the speed, the razor-sharp knife, the absolute focus in his eyes. I don't know, something about that combination of mastery and danger was just unexpectedly captivating. I had to sit there for a minute and question my life choices. My girlfriend in sweats, a loose shirt holding for dear life, and a bowl of soup, just cozy at home on the couch. Like, yes, girls, look at you existing so beautifully. I'm 6 feet 6 inches and I think I'm used to ordering people around when I'm at work, so being bossed around by a woman unexpectedly just flusters me. I'm not sure why, maybe it's just a welcome surprise. A girl I spent a lot of time with moved back to a province, 2 away from my province. We kept in touch over the years, and had kinda talked about an, if we're not married by this age, pact. She had a bit of a stalker before she moved, so she spent a bunch of time at my house before leaving. Then when she got back to her home province, some men did some pretty bad things to her. We were talking on the phone, and she told me about some of this stuff. Things weren't going as she had hoped, and I told her if she wanted to come back, she had a place to stay. We got to talking, and she said she realized something. I was the only guy that had always made her feel safe. I tried to hook up with her when we first met, but she wasn't into it, so we just stayed friends and hung out for a few years. While we were talking on the phone, she kinda started talking from the perspective of sharing our life together and travel plans. We're both weird emotionally, but somehow we figured out that we wanted to be together. So we started talking more often. One day, she wanted to show me something she was working on crocheting while we were on video chat. Fully clothed, just pulling half a sweater and a sleeve over herself to show me what it would look like. I don't know what it was, but it made me insanely aroused for some reason. When she tells our server how they messed up my meal, I don't want to tell them because I'll have to wait even longer for my food. I was a student tutor at university. One of the girls in the class below mine was there for tutoring and eating hard-boiled eggs. She ate the first one like normal, a few bites. The second one she looked at me straight on, without breaking eye contact, put the whole egg in her mouth and swallowed it whole once again without breaking eye contact. Never thought hard-boiled eggs could turn me on. My GF, long ago, popped in a chewing gum. I asked if I could have one, too. She French kissed me and pushed the gum into my mouth. I thought I would be disgusted, but I thought it was hot. When she noticed how much I liked it, she did it with other things. We would share a chocolate this way. She put it into her mouth, moved in for a kiss and bit her half off. She smeared the chocolate all over my mouth and lips in the process. I should have been grossed out, but I found it surprisingly sexy and confident. I'm turned on by women crying and letting me hold them, as long as it's not about me. It's not that they're sad, it's something about the intimacy. I hate it. Makes me feel like a serial killer or something. My husband in his mechanic uniform, they're really not that sexy, but I'm so into it. Unfortunately, he's not a mechanic anymore. When men make eye contact with me and smile as they hold the door open for me. If y'all don't quit right now, you're gonna find yourself wifed up. My boyfriend with small animals. It's so stupid, but today he found a baby mouse and he sent me videos of the box he made for it, a video of him holding it, etc. Or another video of a bug on his arm. I'm a huge animal lover and his hands are great, so I guess the combination of those things and him being kind towards them just does something to me. Edit, sad news, my boyfriend tried his best to keep the baby mouse alive and called him Pedro, but he didn't make it. The other day she reached over and wrapped her fingers into my hair, pulling my head back to give me a kiss. My body was like, she needs to do that again, but harder. My boss at my old internship was British, and one day he concentrate to save my life. Hot British man close enough to breathe in my ear. Hit all my fantasies at once. I was at the grocery store and I was picking out artichokes from a pile that was stacked up in the produce section. I accidentally toppled a few from the top of the stack and one fell onto the ground and rolled over to a guy who was close by. He picked it up and was really gripping it tight in a joking manner before handing it to me, and said something like, "I choked on one of these during dinner once. Now it's time for me to choke her back." The funny part was I subconsciously purchased the one he handed me. I was watching a video, and the guy in the driver's seat was just reaching over to get something from the glove compartment. I had a visceral, sexual reaction to seeing it. I paused the video, totally confused, so I went back and watched it again. It happened again. It was not a suggestive video at all. Was at a haunted house and one of the actors tipped my chin up with a knife and slowly dragged it down my throat to my collarbone. I discovered something about myself that day. Was at a rave and was overheating a bit and needed a break. Ended up at the bar for some water and a drink, and this gorgeous girl goes, "You look a little warm," and she grabbed some ice from her drink and rubbed it on my chest. She didn't say another word and walked away, but I was damn near in love. Got spin kicked in the head and instantly fell for the girl that did it. Story, sparring with a girl in karate. It's supposed to be light to no touch, but some contact is expected. This girl and I are the same belt, but she's clearly done something before. She's tiny. 5 feet tall. 90 pounds tops. Cute as fuck Filipina with an adorable smile, but a "don't fuck with me" vibe running through the subtext of her character description. I see her bouncing back and forth like she's ready to strike. She twitches her right hand and I think a punch is coming. While my eyes are still there, hoapity boo pity, she spun around backwards, closed the distance and slapped the right side of my face with the bottom of her foot. The sweetest and smoothest spinning hook kick I've ever witnessed in person. That it was so good damn quick and had so much good damn control. Even though she did slap me with her foot, it was still super light contact. Instantly fell for her. When a strong muscled guy presses against me on the wall and I have no way to escape. I hate it because I have no choice but to submit, but I won't lie, it turns me on. A coworker called me to ask, "Are you ready for me?" The low breathy way she said it stopped me dead in my tracks. I had to stop and try to remember what the heck I was supposed to be doing. Some of my co-workers and I had to be in the office late on Thursdays. The manager would leave at 6 p.m. but we had to be there until 9. So naturally some of us would fuck off and explore the huge building our office was in, sometimes going up to the 5th floor roof via a ladder from the 4th floor. One night one of my female co-workers and I went up by ourselves and she climbed the ladder first. She got halfway up until she panicked and got stuck. All I could see was her super nice but in her too tight jeans, and she was asking me to come help her. I climbed the ladder and had to basically stand on it under her while encouraging her to climb up and physically move her feet from one rung to the next. I don't like heights either, but I figured it out. A while later I copped to that making me feel some kind of way and we hooked up a bunch. I was walking around in a cave and touched a random rock on the wall. It was hot, but there was nothing in there that could explain where the heat came from. I later learned that it likely contained radioactive material. I was walking around a park with my friend and her dog last year. After we were done and got back to her car, I jokingly put her dog's collar and leash around her neck after she took it off him. She licked my face afterwards and laid on my lap while I scratched her head. She admitted a couple days later she thinks she is actually into being treated like a dog. My colleague made me feel important. It was at the Christmas party and I can be quite quiet, so I tend to sort of observe from the periphery. It's not that I don't want to join in, but I'm not as loud or excitable as others, so I just don't really get too included. Then we met some new people, and that usually makes it so much worse because everyone is so excited to meet the new people. We're a very small company and we were all pretty drunk, so this is usually where I get completely excluded and basically ditched. But my colleague put his arm around me and pulled me into the conversation. He kept his arm around me a fair bit and just made me feel like he really wanted me there. I've been thinking about him since. I recently started talking to a girl for the first time since I divorced my significant other of 12.5 years. We went out for drinks together and as we sat at a picnic table, tipsy from the sugary alcoholic drinks, she rubbed my back briefly in a quick circular motion, totally innocent. It was hot in a way that I couldn't quite describe. My boyfriend recently got back into snowboarding. He sent me a Snapchat of him in all of his gear, helmet and blacked out goggles on. My heart fluttered so much when I saw that photo. A few years ago, one of my sister-in-law's friend's car broke down in front of our house, so we went out to help her. Her and her dad had restored a '71 Chevelle SS. She's got the hood open and going over everything that she helped replace on the engine. I don't know why, but that was such a turn-on for me. I had to walk away and go back in the house. A customer at work dropped having a seizure. I along with a coworker rushed out and did what we could to stabilize/support him until EMS arrived. I looked at her for a second while everyone else was in a panic, but her and I were calm and thought, this is not the time, but damn that hot.